Hello, friends. Back from uh, Sedona and the retreat that we just had, the Awakened, Immersed, and Inspired retreat that was hosted by Kevin Lewis, Jeffrey Peck, and Debbie Freebird Spirit. It was uh, it was an amazing event, to say the least. Um, I think in this video, I'll just give like a general overview of the entire experience, and then afterwards, I'll break it down into maybe day by day experiences. Um, I honestly feel like that I could talk for hours and hours about what happened and what I experienced in this retreat. Um, so if you find the overview interesting, maybe you'll want to look forward to the other videos regarding the retreat. And if not, then that's okay too. Um, I just want to throw that out there. But it was an amazing experience. Hard to put in like when I was there as the days were going on, it was really hard to put into words. Um, and I remember telling Terry and a few others this that I could describe what happened, like the actual events, but it was really hard to find words to express the feeling and the depth behind what I was experiencing, or yeah, just all of it. I just remember I kept saying awesome and amazing a lot, and it wasn't really a strong enough word or deep enough word to describe it. It was that powerful. Um, so this retreat center is pretty amazing. It's not it's not a property. It's not a collection of buildings. Like when you drive up a driveway, and like as you drive up, it's almost like you're driving into a different space, like not one that's part, I don't want to say of the earth, but it's like you're going somewhere. Almost like if you were to go to Disneyland for the first time and then you walk down Main Street going up towards the castle. It's kind of like that feeling. There's like something different about this area, right? And you can feel it. This the people that created this place and work there. I think it was Tony, Sonia, and Ukwala, the medicine man, and then there's a whole bunch of other people in the back that I didn't really get a chance to spend time with. Those people put uh, so much intention into what they're doing and what they've created at this facility, for lack of a better term. That um, there's so much possibility there. It was like it was there was a play. It was a place where you can create whatever experience you want to have. And I found that I did that several different times during the week that I stayed there, maybe week or 6 days, something like that. I was there for a while, or for the whole duration. Um, but yeah, there's like pockets of spaces where you can fit in. It actually, what it reminded me of, or what it did was it brought definition to to Terry's name, or Terry at holding your space. It was like they created a space for held for you to create whatever you wanted, and there was pockets of it all around the all around the uh, I don't want to use facility or compound or whatever. It's really hard to explain. I found myself a lot of times like being at a loss for words, but at their center there were pockets on the outside, on the inside of the buildings. Different buildings had different spaces that we occupied for different events. Like Kevin had his own building, Jeffrey had his own building, and Debbie also had her own building. And each space that you walked into was unique, and the energy in it was different, which allowed you to create the experience or have the experience that you wanted. I say the word create a lot because it was, you know, watching everybody, like just thinking about myself in the moment. I was thinking about, everything that I was experiencing. And then I was also looking, at others there, and everybody was having their own unique experience. Some people came for spiritual growth, some people came for healing, and that was very obvious. Uh, some people just came for an experience, a shared experience. Um, some people wanted to be transferred. You could tell, like you could tell the different types and intentions that people carried, and everything was. You had the ability to manifest anything that you wanted at this event. It was very, very interesting when I sat back and like stepped away from the energy and just observed what was happening. Um, yeah, I mean, they had like this little seating area underneath. I don't even know what kind of tree. I want to say willow, but I don't think it was willow. But it just had these long branches, um, and I don't know. It wasn't moss, but it was hanging, and it created like this canopy. And underneath that, there was this seating area with like a marble ball and a water feature, and it was tucked away. You didn't really see it unless you walked by it. You could see it tucked away. Then there was like a Zen on the back part of the building. There was like a little courtyard where we ate lunch when the weather was good, and there was like a little Zen area right next to it. And then if you walk to the other side of the building, there was a fire pit area and an art temple where you could just hang out and be with yourself and be with nature or wherever you wanted to be. It was very incredible. Um, the people there that came to the event, they all added to the experience that everybody was having. And I think that brought clear definition to the word shared experience. Um, Everybody brought something and you realized it. Um, and it was very easy to see that if one person wasn't there, the experience would have been different. And I don't mean to say that, like, um, I don't even see. It's really hard to find the right words, but it wasn't like everybody was um, making. Yeah, all I can, sorry, all I can say is that every single person that was there amplified whatever experience you were experiencing. It just made for a very um, a very wonderful experience, one that uh, I haven't felt in a very long time. So I was thinking about it, like, as far as experiences go, like total experiences, um, this was um, this was up there. Probably uh, 1B. My 1A was there was a when I was younger, I was sitting. Um, I was in I was at in Monterey at the beach, and I was sitting with my wife, and I remember sitting on a bench, and just me and her, we were just sitting there, and I remember just looking out, and it felt like time stopped. Just sharing that moment with her, um, it felt like we were the only two people that existed, uh, and it was the middle of the day. People were walking by and everything, and time froze, and it was like I could feel like magic. And I remember there was this older couple that walked by, and they looked at us on the bench, and they smiled. Both of them smiled, and the feeling that I got was that they were looking at a reflection of them maybe 50 years ago or something. And it felt magical. And that's the same experience that I had, like total experience at the Sedona retreat. Was every day was magic. Every day I walked into a place, and there was no concept of time. I didn't understand. Um or not understand, but I didn't have any focus of the outside world. Everything was just purely in the moment. And magic happened every time. There was So just speaking for myself, it was a great it was a great eye-opening experience because it put me in places that I haven't been because of the pandemic. Like we sh- um, we stayed at home, and um, I didn't have to go to work. I work remotely, so I don't get out much. I don't experience other people, and so that made me, become, pr- a recluse, and very insecure about being around people. I feel uncomfortable being in groups. Um, I'm a heavy person, so I feel uncomfortable about my body image, what I look like. You know, um, I have anxiety issues sometimes, and so like I get very hot and I start to sweat, and um, all of that stuff came out. But it was so amazing that I got to actually work through those emotions uh, in that space. And what was so helpful was everybody there was like a blessing for me. So, the more people that came up to me, it was almost like I wanted to pull back into the shadows and hide like I normally would. Um, but the staff there, um, Evan and Lisa were like the first two people to greet everybody, and they just kind of pulled me in slowly. Everybody that was there that was so welcoming, the staff and Evan and Lisa on the first day, they pulled me into the light, and I got to learn how to relax and feel comfortable with myself, around others, um, with my size, not feeling self-conscious. It was like the first time in a very long time that I I felt comfortable within my own skin, and all of the feelings that that I wasn't feeling like embarrassed or ashamed by them, you know, only because of the space that I was there or that I was in and all these people created. Um, it was it was something that that was very awesome because it helped me see a new perspective. I don't want to say that, oh, I'm changed and I'm no longer that person. I probably still am, but what it did was it gave me the chance to see a different uh, or what could be possible if I choose to step out of the shadows. And I think that's what this retreat did was it gave me so many opportunities to experience what could be um, for me. And I think a lot of people experience that, but in different ways. So for me, I didn't come there with any intention. I came there with just an open mind to have um, an experience, and I had several. So just being able to work through those I don't want to say issues. I think Debbie spoke about choosing your language properly uh, uh, a lot in our thing, and I want to be mindful to not like continue to lock myself into something that doesn't help push me forward in the light that I want to be in. And I think being at this retreat, um, I really got the sense of being at a different energy, being at a different frequency. Earlier I spoke. I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place. I'm just trying to uh, to express so many things that happen. Um, that it's just like there's just like pings everywhere. But earlier I spoke about, my 1A and my 1A moment. I remember like, being able to, you know, um, have connection. Um, and I experienced that there, connection into as to like speak of like with my wife, I can, in moments when you're with your significant other, when you guys are totally connected, you already know what somebody's going to say before they even say it, or you can finish the sentence that they're saying. You understand exactly what they're feeling without even speaking. And this happened every single day at this event. Um, and I I I had a feeling that it had something to do with um, everybody there, maybe even the center, being at a different frequency or at a different vibration or energy level, or wherever, uh, however you would define that. Um, and I think we were all living at that same level, and so that's why, like, as Kevin or Jeffrey or Debbie were saying something, I already knew how they were going to finish it. Or, speaking with JJ um, or Alice or, you know, um, Lisa, anybody, Terry, it was like I knew like we were communicating like heart to heart, even though but the words were coming out vocally, but there was still this communication heart to heart. So I knew what I could I can sense what they were feeling and what they were going to say. And I think a lot of people experience that synchronicity there. And I have to imagine that it's only because we're at the same frequency and at the same energy level. And it has I don't I wanted to put like I remember talking to Terry and JJ about like separately, and I wanted to try to figure this out. Um like, how is this all this synchronicity possible? Like, is it because of all of the people? Is it because of the place that we're in? Is it because of Sedona? Like, does Sedona bring that? Or is it because of the center, right? And for some reason, it was really interesting because for some reason, I wanted to pinpoint it down to one thing why all of this synchronicity was happening, why we were all buzzing at the same level. We were all connected. Um, but I'm coming to the idea that it's all encompassing. It's because all of us were came there with openness, because all of us are, I don't wanna say like-minded, because we all have, our differences that we bring, but we were all, um, open to being at the same level, um, that made all of this synchronicity possible. Um, it it was something It was something that, I hope all of you can partake in, and, I was several times I was asking, you know, "How can we bring this back?" How is it possible for us to bring it back to our homes, to, our spaces online, that we share together? Um, I didn't really come up with an answer yet, but I hope one day it sinks in. Um, and when I find it, I'll share it, with all of you, because the magic that was created and shared and experienced was something that I think on this level, or where we're at, I th- I wish you guys were, well, I wish everybody could experience that. I know not everybody can make it to a retreat, can afford it. Like, I couldn't afford it. It was through the blessing of Jeffrey and, um, Debbie and Kevin and Annie Bear, um, that this was all possible. And, so I hope to be able to give back and say thanks by sharing these things that I experienced, at the retreat, and, um, hopefully through my intention, um, you can feel and go along, the journey with me that I had there as I relive these moments. I think I'll stop here, and then in the future videos, it will be more about, probably the day by day experiences, um, because, uh, it was a lot, every day, and, every day was actually unique. It wasn't, a duplication of experiences or thought processes or emotions or awakenings or anything like that. But, in closing, the Sedona retreat was one oh, so this is what I told Jeffrey that I realized even during the middle of, I think it was only day 1, or no, the 2nd day. Yeah, it was during the 2nd day. I told Jeffrey I had such a profound experience just by the 2nd day, and I was there for 6 days or 7 days. Just by the 2nd day alone, I told Jeffrey that this experience right now, if it were to end today, will outlive my body. I will take this with me moving forward through lifetimes. The experiences that I had were so profound and so inspiring and so awakening. I was immersed in all of it. Um, and it's not so much what I take. Hopefully, what I left there, um, was an imprint of what could be. I was talking to Sonia and Tony, about, just my experience there, the people that ran the treat before I left, and I said every day I sat in one spot, um, writing down all my inspirations and all the awakenings and beautiful things that I experienced there. And I just sat there. I sat in that one spot overlooking the parking lot, looking out to this beautiful tree. and uh, jotting down um, everything. And so I th- I hope that the imprint that I left by sitting there for um, the week that I was there, um, I hope it's an imprint of love, compassion, um, growth. Just the opportunity. Like if you wanted to experience that, like anything is possible. I hope that's the imprint I left in that chair that I sat in. But I'll stop the video here before I get too wild and you know it doesn't sound good. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to this video, sharing your time with me, um, and hopefully going on the journey with me. Um, yeah, I think that would be one way that I could repay the people that blessed me is by sharing my blessing with you. So, till the next video, thank you, and I love you all tremendously.